Many adults with disabilities face a variety of medical complications, from multiple medications prescribed at different times, coordinating multiple doctors and specialists and their differing opinions, and dealing with a more limited ability to explain all the symptoms accurately. Managing the medical needs for an adult with disabilities is daunting. Unfortunately, despite all these difficulties, many programs and support systems offer limited or no hands-on help in this critical area. All too often, these adults are left to attend appointments by themselves and then deal with the confusion and anxiety that is caused. Medications can be routinely missed, which further complicates an already fragile medical situation. At Casa de Alma, things are done differently. On a daily basis, our residents are accompanied to their medical appointments where staff assist, advocate, and help clarify what is said. We believe this is a critical area for hands-on support in order to best assure the safety and quality of life for each resident. At Casa de Alma, we strive to do everything we can to enable our residents to be healthy today and many years to come.
If I was at the doctor's appointments by myself, I would be confused. I'd feel scared to go by myself because I'd be nervous, afraid I wouldn't say the right thing or write stuff down to come back and relay it back to the staff. Doctor appointments are important because the doctor gives me the right kind of medicine for what I need. They help me support to support us with doctor's appointments by taking us there, making the appointments, and it's really helpful having that part in CASA. One time, I went to the Dr. Nguyen, and he told me to go to the ER. I got like staph infection inside my foot. They cleaned it out, and then they wanted to admit me. The staff stayed there with me. It's really helpful when the staff stayed there with me, tell them about my disability and what kind of medicine I take, a whole list of it. Sometimes the meds that I take are a little confusing because I don't know like what to take and how many times a day. But it's easier for when staff are there. They could help me like how much times a day I could take it. It's good they help me call my parents and tell them what the doctor says. Help me feel more relaxed and calm.
With typical adults, the challenge is always to sort of get a sense of what truly is going on. And I think that's true of any interaction that we have with any patient that comes through the door, is to say, you know, how are we reading this person to best address their needs? The special needs client, the differentiation is that sometimes they have a hard time voicing that. And so the challenge is to be able to kind of read things like nonverbal cues. So at times the questions may not have such concise answers. And at times it's helpful when there's folks like yourself who accompany them as part of the medical team to sort of give us the backdrop of, you know, when I ask a certain question like, how is this person feeling? How are they doing in terms of their emotional state, for instance? They may not be able to give me a clear sense as to where are they at. And so that's when I sort of suddenly look to you. And you're able to give me some background information as far as, well, this is what we're observing. This is what I'm observing. This is what the staff is observing. And frankly, then we bounce that off of the client. So that way it sort of completes that loop, if you will. Again, the answers don't come as quickly as it would with perhaps again, normally adjusted adult patient. And so it's very helpful to have somebody else in the room to kind of give me some of that background information that normally would be missing otherwise. The average patient leaves the exam room already troubled with trying to remember everything that we've said, because oftentimes we'll cover more than one or two topics. And so as I convey that to the, again, adult challenge patient that comes through the door, I can only imagine how much more confounding that is. That as a question is brought to my attention, such as, what do you think is causing me abdominal pain? I may go through a differential diagnosis of 3 or 4 different things, and as I talk about those 3 or 4 things, I'll ask additional questions to further hone down what I'm thinking. And at the end of it all, I'll come to some sort of a conclusion as well as a treatment solution for them. And sometimes that treatment solution may involve 1, 2, or 3 different things to do. And so if there isn't somebody in the room to perhaps help organize those thoughts, organize those answers, so that way it's sort of reviewed with the client at a later time, I suspect a lot of the conversation may be lost before they walk out the door. So as much as I may have the answer, that answer may not follow that client home.
It's important for a program to help residents at appointments because it helps take notes and help assist them to get there and help to assist them what they need at the doctor's appointment. and let their parents know. If I get really sick, the staff help me to get better. Yeah, the staff would advocate for me to explain what's wrong and about my disability and about like where I live. If it's contagious, or take notes, let the other staff know.
Sometimes I can get stuck in my medical jargon in terms of how I speak, and so I think that a medical team member is there to sometimes break it down. What did the doctor just say? And frankly, rather than me repeating the question for the second or third time, that medical team member can simply, who's more familiar with the client, and vice versa, the client's more familiar with that medical team member, to really again say, now, did you understand what Dr. Joe was trying to ask? And as such, that helps to, again, ultimately elicit that answer that we're looking for to help understand how we can treat that patient for that day. What it does is it helps to take away the concern that I've got to remember everything the doctor has just said. And as such, that treatment plan, which sometimes can be a one-step, two-step, or three-step process, can be reviewed over with the client in their own comfort and their own sort of time frame, to that way make sure that they're completely understanding of what the health issue that's going on for the day and what's required to sort of get them to some resolve in that process. So I think, as always, we all can benefit from having a personal medical secretary, as I said, and I think I'm always impressed that that exists at CASA to make sure that these folks are guided, and more importantly, that they really understand what transpires in a doctor's office, which can be a place of confusion.
The best part of CASA is the medical part, to help assist us in taking us to appointments what needed, and help us refill our pill boxes. And it's really helpful having that part in CASA.